Next up, we have Cryosphere from the Punishing Grey Raven, a March Through Blizzard soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever button you use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, the gaming channel, how to request songs if you're not on the live stream, members getting early access to the content. I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things at the end of this video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read them in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitared, so please keep that in mind. Also, reminder, as at the time of recording, we're still celebrating 10,000 subscribers, so thank you again for that. In celebration, we're doing two things. Number one, I'm giving away 10 copies of Vintage Story. And number two, we're starting to play some of the games that we've covered in this channel. The first two have been Just Shapes and Beats and Limbus Company. More information on that at the end of the video and that whole spiel thing, so stick around for that. With that, let's do this. Cryosphere, let's go. Okay, that was not part of the ball. Okay, there we go. Now's the song. Okay, we started the bell. A couple layers of vocals. Okay, so we have an orchestral arrangement going on over here, which means we have an orchestra. Let me pull up the image of the orchestra that we always use. It's such a good image. So, we start with the violin orchestra, giving us that very nice initial rhythm, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, ba bam, with all the notes. While we are having one of these mallet instruments, could be a xylophone, could be a glockenspiel. I'm not entirely sure. It could be somewhere in between. I think it's a xylophone that is giving us that very chiny melody higher up with our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. Then we are having percussion, giving us some extra filling in between. Let's see where this goes. Top hat, welcome back. It's bright here. Ah, very beautiful. And it's just so nice how much you can do with a string orchestra. And the reason why it's called a string orchestra is because the orchestra is divided into two parts. The string orchestra and everybody else. So the way that an orchestra is designed, like this layout, is not an accident. What you have is that you have an orchestra with multiple sections. However, when it comes to the violins, you have violin section 1, violin section 2, viola section, cello section, and then double basses. And all of these together are called the string orchestra, because after that, you get the woodwind section. And the woodwind section has your flutes, your oboes, your clarinets, your bassoons, maybe your French horns, depending on how the composer sees them. Then you have your brass section. That's going to be your trumpets, your trombones, your tuba. Maybe the French horns are lumped in there, but as you can see, the section here I'm talking about, the woodwind section, we're talking about 2 flutes in the Philharmonic, and maybe 3, maybe even 4. In a standard orchestra, it's going to be 2 flutes, 2 oboes, 2 clarinets, 2 bassoons. A string orchestra, violin section number 1 is going to be around, in a full-size orchestra, 10, maybe 12 first violins. 10, maybe 12 second violins. Slightly less than that viola, so around 10 usually. So if you have 12 first violins, 12 second violins, you're probably going to have 10 violas, 8 cellos, and then 8 or 6 double basses. And yeah, it's a lot of people. Usually it's almost 2/3 of the orchestra. So that's a lot of people. And then you have your woodwind. 2 flutes, 2 oboes, 2 clarinets, 2 bassoons, maybe 2 French horns. That's, what, 10 people? That's less than the first violin section, which is why the string orchestra usually is so much. And there are ensembles that are just the string orchestra. Like, you can just have the string orchestra, and that's more than enough for some composers. So yeah, and yeah, I don't know, dude. YouTube counts things weird. I don't know. I don't know. I look at the numbers and then I forget. So yeah, let's see where this goes. So we're bringing more percussion. Valor, welcome back, Needle. Oh. Okay, so we switch things around. We change the percussion a little bit. We go from these war drums to what sounds to be more like a different drums, maybe a snare drum, something like that. We bring in a chorus, a choir, chorale, however you want to call it. So a chorus, a choir, or a chorus, or a chorale. This is going to be a big group of people singing, right? This is usually going to be based on what is called the SATB. The SATB is the 4 main ranges of vocal ranges. That's going to be the soprano, alto, then the tenor, and bass. This line over here is the gender divide. Female vocalists will be on the higher end, male vocalists are going to be on the lower end. This is a generality, right? So the higher end, the highest range that we have in average is going to be the soprano. Then you have the alto, which is the lower range for women. Then you have tenor, the higher range for men, still lower than the alto. And then you have the bass. This is going to be anywhere between 90 to 95% of the world population. If you are a person that exists and you train to become a singer, there's a 90 to 95% chance that if you're a woman, you're gonna fall into soprano or alto. There's a 90-95% chance that you're gonna be a tenor or a bass. There's a couple more ranges over here in between. We have the mezzo soprano in between the soprano and the alto, and we have the baritone between the tenor and the bass. And these usually are going to be either a mix of the two or both. So the mezzo soprano is going to be either the full range of the soprano and the alto or somewhere in between. Baritone is going to be either the full range of the tenor and bass or somewhere in between, right? So in my case, I'm a baritone. I am a baritone. I have a good chunk of the tenor range of the tenor, a good chunk of the range of the bass, just not all the way either way. And this, once you account for these 6, you'll go from being 90 to 95% to 90 to around 99.99% of the world population. Somebody that falls outside of these 6 is going to be absolutely extremely rare. We're talking in some cases down to 1 in a billion kind of people, right? So we're having that. Of course, we're having that choir, that choir, there's chorale doing this. And yes, this is bride cue. After this is live cue. Yes. So yeah. With that, we're having the violins changing the melody over. Let me hear a bit more. This is where it goes. Alright, we switch over to this. Okay, so now we bring a new variation of the motif. We're having some repeated notes, so we're doing a partial elongation. And instead of just holding down the notes, we're repeating the notes. Elongation is a way that you can develop your material in which you play a slower version of something you've done before. So we are bringing this this new version of the motif, and we are doing it slower, but instead of just holding down the notes, we're just playing the notes with a little bit repetition and staccato. Staccato is a type of articulation that you can do. Articulations are different ways that you can play notes. Staccato is when you play a note short. It's basically short bursts of notes. So how do you do an elongation with repeated notes with staccato? You repeat the note. Because if I were to bring, let's say we have this over here. Let's say that's our motif, right? And if I do an elongated version, a longer version of the motif, I can do that. But if I want to include the staccato, well, just doing the... that might not be as practical, especially in some contexts. So what can I do? I can then just do repeated notes. And now I have the full motif, I have a variation of the motif, and it is now elongated, but at the same time, we are having that staccato, that very nice marching feeling of the staccato. So, what's lowest tier of Patreon? I'm trying to see, that should, I think it's $3. I don't know. I haven't checked the Patreon in a while. Yeah, I have a Patreon. I'm just not very active in it. I should prepare it for the full-time experiment. Anyway, so yeah, we're having this kind of sound like the stock FL Studio piano. I mean, this is the piano from Contact. This is one of the nicer samples that they have, but it's still Contact player. It's not the best, but it's nice. It's nice and it's mine, and I got it for almost free. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Right, so we're now having A lot of percussion, where you can hear those violins doing variations with the staccato elongation. Bringing the chorus in for some doublings. Doubling being when you have more than one instrument doing the same thing at the same time. And right now, the chorus, we are using the human voices as another instrument. We are not counting them as a vocalist. We're counting them as an instrument. So that's something to keep in mind. And Cyprian, welcome back. Hey. Nice. And we have a little bit of a break there, bringing in a pipe organ. So when it comes to music, especially in orchestral music, you have the art of orchestration or instrumentation. Orchestration, instrumentation is the art of picking the right instruments, not just for the right sound texture, but sometimes for the right psychological response. And when it comes to the pipe organ, the pipe organ holds a very special place in music. Why? Because these are marvels of engineering and architecture, and these are massive instruments. There's no single individual that could ever just build, let alone maintain one of these. So you have that awesome sound, and of course the sound that you get of these instruments is absolutely insane. So that makes it that gives us that psychological response of the higher than any one individual, higher than thou, or the as I like to call it, the overwhelming hierarchy that you need for this. Like these instruments, you have to design buildings around these, which is why you often see pipe organs in churches or cathedrals or symphony halls, because those are the only ones that could afford them. So yeah, we bring in a quick break from a pipe organ to have that little bit of rhythm. I go back a couple of seconds, and let's see. Oh yeah, I don't know what. I'm gonna have to revisit the Patreon yet. Alright, there we go. We bring the violins back. New version of violins. A lot of synths in the middle. Ah, we bring in the brass. Some of the French horns. Doubling. So yeah, we bring in, now we're having these two-part counterpoint. We're having the violins giving us this very slow, glorious ascending line, while we're having the chorus giving us this more stingy staccato line, and then we are having the percussion doing some accents on top of the choir, right? So accents in music usually is going to be for accentuation. We're highlighting specific points in the rhythm to add even more drama to it. So yeah, let's see where this goes. This is really good. Oh, we break through. Oh, okay, so now we have both the choir, the chorus, and the violins really just playing together. But between them, we are having the violins doing some runs downward. In music, a run is just playing a scale or a chord really, really fast, right? So you can hear, right? Like we're having the phrase being played, and then we're having the violins breaking it down. The phrase rises up, the violins break it down. So yeah. See. And now the violins are going back up and down. Silence. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a particular type of transition that makes your listeners feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums. Maybe the bass as well, or in this case, pretty much everything. So we go back to just having a synth there, and Alisa, welcome today. How you doing? Let's see where this goes. So yeah, there's a bass. Okay, there we go. Bring back the bass and drums with some guitar. This scratches, and we bring the original motif back. Some vocal samples in between. Little variation on the motif there. Go ask her about it. Go ask her. Tell her to take a picture. Tell her to take a picture of the food. Okay, and now we have another synth. So yeah, we have a little bit of a vocal sample doing a little bit of rapping. Then we bring in a synth in the middle doing some almost feels like a solo, but it's not loud enough to be considered a solo. So it's just there noodling. So in music we have the concept of noodling. Noodling is basically you're just adding notes that sound cool, and that's kind of it. Like you're just adding a bunch of stuff. You're just adding a bunch of extra notes, filling up the space. This can work in your favor. This can work against you. Right now, I think it worked in the favor because it went from being the rapping to the synth. So I think it worked. Let's see where this goes. All right, there we go. Off the ramp again with the original motif. Phasing in and out. Synths, we bring back the bass. Bass drum, and off the ramp again. Oh, and we bring back the violins and percussion. Oh, that's awesome. Off the ramp again, and oh, and we bring the vocal track to sing the melody. Beautiful melody. And this, I would say, is a flying melody through and through. Flying melody being another colloquial term that I use. This one, as you can hear, there's the drums giving us this very nice and busy side. The bass is busy, the middle ground is busy, but then higher up above everything else, you have a melody slower, simpler than everything else, just flying, soaring above the landscape that has been created. I have two more examples. I have two examples that I gave of this, right? So if you want to hear songs that have flying melodies a little bit more clear. I mean, this one is pretty clear. But if you want two more, listen to the song Roxanne from the musical Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge, you have Ewan McGregor, the film version of this. You have Ewan McGregor, yes, Obi-Wan Ewan McGregor singing the lead, and during the climax of it, he's the one doing the flying melody. Really, really dramatic. Everybody's going insane. And then you have the other one that I recommend, which is "Good to Be King" from the musical Journey to Bethlehem. Both of these are on YouTube. "Good to Be King." This one is sung by Antonio Banderas. He plays King Herod, and it's, you know how Disney used to make villain introductions with musical numbers. They do this with Antonio Banderas, and it's really cool. Roxanne is more on the orchestral musical side. Good to Be King is more in the contemporary electronic side of things. Both really good, and right now, to a similar principle, we are doing this kind of thing. So yeah, let's see where this goes. Ah, beautiful. We switch over the bass back, and she's holding those notes. Bringing back the violins, the synths, violins a little bit quieter, but doing the melody. Ooh, very fast changes over here. We have a synth doing the arpeggios downward. What else? All right, bringing back the drum and bass. It's a little bit more murky, so we're using one of the types of outros that you can have, which is kind of a sensory overload kind of outro, where you're just kind of filling up the spectrum of everything. Yes, the avatar commands should work. If you're on YouTube, the description should have the link to the full list of the things. Is an action game? I don't know. I think so. I don't know. I haven't played most of the games we've covered. So yeah, we're having this very, like, just filling up as much of the spectrum of the audio as we can, with as many sounds as we can, without fully making everything inaudible. So it's a tricky balance to achieve. I think they're achieving it over here. It's an action game? Okay, there you go. I think they are achieving it over here. We're striking that really cool balance, because you can tell what the bass and the synths are doing, but then once you go higher than it, it becomes very foggy, in a good way somehow. So yeah, let's see. All right, off the ramp again, and we call this into the melody. with the synth, and a little bit of a rhythm there. Excellent. And there you go, one more run of it. A little bit more of white noise, and there you have it. I'll check it in a moment. And there you have it. That was Cryosphere from the punishing Grey Raven soundtrack, A March Through Blizzard. That was really cool, man. That was really fun. Really good for a game soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this has been the Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician and composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here, musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever button you're going to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, at the time of recording, we're celebrating 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, so thank you once again, everybody, for that. I do not take this for granted. I'm grateful every single day for this. We're celebrating two ways. Number one, I'm giving away 10 copies of Vintage Story. Vintage Story! This used to be a Minecraft mod, now it's its own standalone game. I love it, I prefer it, which is why I'm giving away 10 copies of this game. The giveaways are going to happen on the second half of February 2026 on the Discord server, so if you haven't joined the Discord, do so now, linked in the description. That's way number one. Way number two is now starting with 10,000 every 5,000 subscribers. We're going to start actually playing some of the games we covered on this stream, on these shows. The first two have been just Chips and Beats and Limbus Company. So, yeah, we're playing those during the after shows. The recordings are going to the gaming channel. More on that in a moment. So make sure you've joined the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first. Whether it's the streams going live, videos going up in the channels, updates, projects, the giveaways, everything gets announced there first. Of course, that's where we also have the community. We hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, compliment Nosh, Nosh's cooking, and where I host the Vintage Story game server. I love the game so much, I built a PC just to host the server, right? So, linked in the description, join the Discord community today and become a member of our Discord community. Also, share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, so linked in the description. Go join the Discord server and help the channel grow. Artists, musicians, or otherwise on YouTube or elsewhere, this is an open invitation. If you want any of my musical skills, just reach out, let me know, let's work together, let's collaborate, right? And if you're in the audience and you want to, and you know somebody that you would like me to collaborate with, reach out, let them know. Please do not harass anyone, please do not spam anyone. Be cool about things, don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting in 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions of what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. Again, 6 p.m. Central Europe. If you're not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. So if you live in Pellejos, and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Bastard. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. Recorded live during the main channel's after show, and the recordings go here. This is where the VODs for Just Shapes and Beats, Limbus Company, and whichever other games we play go. So, linked in the description, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Bastard. Just up the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you have it. Cryosphere punishing Grey Raven. Really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.